Days just got better. Matt Berry, L. Duncan hanging alongside you. We do have some hair flipping, and we have some fighting, but Matt, last night the only shoving we saw was the Raptors pushing the Dubs to the brink.
Yeah, what do we have there? The Oracle is the center of courtside drama during Game 3 Wednesday. Last night, the focus shifted back to the court in what could have been the Oakland Arena's final game. Kawhi dialed in. Klay Thompson back after the hamstring in Game 3, and Klay got it going early, draws the double team, finds Boogie underneath for the put-in. Warriors came out hot. You had a feeling they would. Remember, Kevon Looney was actually supposed to be out for the series. He found his way in the lineup and made some early baskets, but then Kawhi got going. Raptors trailing by 13, jumper in the lane, then turn around, looks good. Next time down the floor, Kawhi, three-pointer. Finished with 14 in the first quarter, kept the Raptors in the game, trailed by 6 after the first. Out of the second, Warriors still up 6. Klay gets it down low over Kyle Lowry. He had 28 points in his return. You can tell he wasn't 100%, but he was still big. Stepped up when his team needed to. Not sure what he was alluding to there. Warriors lead by 4 at the break. Third quarter, here comes Leonard. In the third quarter is where this game changed for good. 2 big three-pointers out of the gate. They were big shots and big for momentum. Back-to-back three-pointers to start the half. Here's Red Van Vliet on the meaning of those shots.
There's 2 big boy shots. You came out of the half with 2 back-to-back threes, and that just kind of let you know how we were going to approach the third quarter and the rest of the half.
We'll have more on Van Vliet's Nelly Band-Aid in a minute. But first, Serge Ibaka gets to the middle, hits the jumper over Curry. Then Raptors lead by 7. Ibaka again put in a solid 22 minutes off the bench later in the third. Kawhi against Sean Livingston. Raptors all of a sudden lead by 13. And Leonard was absolutely on fire in the third quarter. More proof. Van Vliet, 8.6 assists, set him up here. But the Raptors outscore the Warriors by 16 in the quarter. Ibaka and Leonard responsible for 24 alone. Now to the fourth. We saw the Band-Aid on Van Vliet. Here's what caused it. Driving, Livingston gets the elbow right there. His tooth was on the court.
Oh, man. Okay.
This is a contact sport. He would go to the locker room to get 7 stitches. Later in the fourth, Raptors by 13, now 16. Kawhi, 36 points, 5 of 9 from 3. Warriors have to come back. You see Curry moving without the ball. Finally ends up with it, 27 points, only 2 of 9 from 3. Warriors cut the lead to 8, but the Raptors wouldn't let Golden State get back into this one. Pascal Siakam, baseline jumper, fundamental, crowd hits the gates. Could it be for the last time? Raptors get their 3rd straight road win. Toronto 1 game away from a title. Steve Kerr also playing the 1-game approach.
We're not thinking about winning 3 games. We're thinking about winning 1 game. And that's the task. So I know we're capable. We got a lot of talent and we got a lot of pride. These guys have been to the finals 5 straight years for a reason. They're unbelievably competitive and they're together and they're going to fight. They're going to fight the whole way. So we'll go try to get 1 win. And if we can do that, come back here and see what happens.
It's not over. I mean, this is not a good feeling right now, obviously. But like you said, we've been on both sides of it, and for us, it's an opportunity for us to, just flip this whole series on its head.
I've been on the wrong side of 3-1 before, so why not make our own history?
All right, so the Warriors become the 35th team to fall behind 3-1 in the NBA Finals, but they know from experience. You hear Draymond say it. Back in 2016, they blew that 3-1 lead to the Cavs, becoming the first and only team in NBA history with such a dubious distinction. So what chances do they have to come back? Here's Stephen A. Smith.
If you're the Golden State Warriors, you've got 1 chance and 1 chance only. Klay Thompson dropping 28 wasn't enough. Steph Curry's 47 in Game 3 wasn't enough. Guess what might be enough? Kevin Durant returning. They haven't ruled it out. He hasn't ruled it out. I'm not ruling it out. And if you're a Golden State Warriors fan, you damn sure better not rule it out. Kevin Durant must return in order for the Golden State Warriors to save their season. He's their last hope Otherwise, it's all over. The Toronto Raptors will be champions come Monday night.
Well, listen, especially if they keep getting performances from Kawhi like they did last night. He was the 4th player to score at least 35 points in a finals game without a single turnover, joining LeBron, Karl Malone, D. Wade. He's also the 4th player with 35 points, 10 boards, 4 steals in a finals game. Thanks in part to Kawhi, Raptors now 5-1 against the Warriors this season, including 3-0 at Oracle. It's the first team to beat the Steve Kerr Warriors in 3 straight games at Oracle, and the Raptors now, of course, head home for Game 5 with a chance to clinch. Toronto's won 5 straight home clinching opportunities and can become the 4th NBA champion to clinch 4 series on their home court.
You know, we were 2 games away, 4 games away. It doesn't matter until you get that 4th win.
They're the defending champs, and they're not going to go out easy. They're going to come and fight and prepare to play. You know, we haven't done anything yet.
We don't take it for granted. A lot of us have came up the hard way, the long way. You know, I myself being undrafted, some second-round picks, and so just to work ourselves in this position to have a chance to win a championship is special and something that we're just trying to seize the moment and relish in it and take advantage of the opportunity. So obviously we all probably got big chips on our shoulders, and it gives us a sense of swagger and togetherness, and we just got to continue to stay locked in and not get ahead of ourselves.
We're not just buys and tries here on the weekend. It's officially a leg day on SportsCenter. Tim Legler hanging out with us all morning. Where did the Raptors take control of this game?
Well, if you really want to be honest, it was last summer when they traded for Kawhi Leonard. That's what changed their entire fortune of their season. But when you look at the game last night, Kawhi makes a couple threes out of the third. You mentioned that in the highlight. But for me, there was another play symptomatic of how it was going to go from that point on, and it was Serge Ibaka. You know, what a night he gave them. You never know with the Raptors who is going to be the supplemental offense, but for me, it was Ibaka, and this possession kind of sums it up. The defensive tracking on this possession, Curry's getting physical contact all over the court. Siakam jumps out. He's got him at 26 feet. Everywhere he went, there was help, and then this interior presence Ibaka gives him right there, blocks the shot, and then runs into a trail 3. Knocks down this 3 to go up 3, and it just felt like from that point, you felt the deflation in the building. You saw Golden State's shoulder sort of drop right there because things started to really turn, and then they took control from that point on the rest of the quarter and then stemmed the tide. Whenever Golden State made a mini run in the 4th, Toronto had an answer. This was just an incredible performance out of their entire team over the last 2 games. Now, Golden State obviously limited. We know that. But let's not take away at all from how clean a game the Raptors have played to get control of this series and have an opportunity to close it out on Monday.
Until Monday night, though, we're going to hear a lot about how the Warriors, the odds that they'll actually be able to come back down 3-1. What do you think? I
kind of agree with what Stephen A. said. I mean, it's going to take Kevin Durant giving an answer because right now what you have is no balance in the Warriors offense. You don't have an interior presence offensively. DeMarcus Cousins is just a shell of what he needed to be in this series. Curry and Thompson are doing some damage from the 3-point line, but they're just not getting the interior presence. That's what Kevin Durant brings, because it doesn't have to be layups and dunks. The ability to get a shot off anywhere on the floor whenever you want to against any defender is quite a luxury to have. It's the ultimate weapon against a great defensive team. They haven't had it. Toronto's playing big and physical. I mean, Serge Ibaka, Pascal Siakam, Gasol, whoever is setting that middle of the floor ball screen and getting into the lane is causing the Warriors so many problems because they're playing small lineups. The guys that are rotating to try to cover that are guards and small forwards. Kevin Durant's their best shot blocker, so he answers things on that end of the floor, too. But who knows what he'll look like if he even can play on Monday night.
And that's the whole argument here. All due respect to Kevin Durant. He's been out for a month. The fact that you think you just roll the ball out and get the Warriors back from a 3-1 deficit, that's a tall task. You're going to be with us all morning. We appreciate Legler's perspective on a Game 4 that now has the Warriors on the brink. Still ahead on SportsCenter. More from Leg. Serge Ibaka was big. Mark Schwartz was there. He's got reaction to Kawhi Leonard's dominance and how Fred VanVleet had the one loss the Raptors did take Friday night. That and more still ahead as we react to the NBA Finals.
Now back with you on SportsCenter. The Raptors a game away from their first NBA title, and here's Kawhi. Because in game, right?
Good.
Kawhi Leonard was fantastic, 14 points, while the other Raptors 1 for 13 in the first quarter. They put up 3 points total. Slow start for the Raptors, but they stayed in this one largely because of their defense, which of course is always predicated by Kawhi, who harassed Golden State all night. He held the Warriors 2 for 7 from the field as a primary defender, contested 5 of those 7 attempts. There were also 4 turnovers with him as a primary defender, and he had a block and 4 steals in this one as well. But that third quarter, Matt said it a couple minutes ago, it was all Kawhi in that third. the three here. Steph said he hit every big momentum shot in the third quarter. On the other end, Draymond coughs it up. Again, 1 of 4 steals for Kawhi. And then he's like, you know what? I'm just going to pull up right over you. Yep. Kawhi, 30-point game of the postseason. Fred VanVleet on that particular sequence of events.
Kawhi Leonard came out and hit 2 big FU shots to start the half. There's no defense for that. There's no schemes for that.
Kawhi's 2 big threes to start the half really, I thought, changed the whole feel of everybody. I just thought everybody was like, okay, man, we know we're here, let's go. And we just kind of kept going from those 2 threes.
They did keep going. Example here, team already up 11. Kawhi in transition over Sean Livingston. Then under 10 seconds to play in the third. VanVleet to Kawhi, nails the baseline jumper. He had 17 in the third quarter, 36 points in total, and the Raptors beat the Dubs 105-92. Not pictured in that highlight was what Serge did as well. Those two combined, Kawhi and Serge, for 56 points on an efficient 59% shooting. They actually outscored the rest of the Raptors, who shot just 31% from the field. I mentioned it, Ibaka, first player since Andre Iguodala in 2017 to score 20 off the bench in a finals game. And with SVP, decided to just heap praise on his teammate instead.
How would you describe what Kawhi Leonard is giving your team right now?
Man, what Kawhi be giving us is what we need him. You know, that's one of the reasons we trade for him. You know, and he's Kawhi, so and he's our best player. So he's playing like the best player in the team. You know, so we out there, we try to support him and help him, but he's giving us everything. That's what we need from him.
The last win is always the most difficult, particularly when it's to beat a defending 2-time champion. What would be your thought about what will be most difficult about getting the last win, the 4th win?
We have to keep doing the same thing like we be doing. Stay together and stay calm, and we have to go out there and play our basketball. We don't have to try to change nothing. We don't need to go out there to rush things. We need to be calm and go out there and keep doing the same thing we be doing.
Serge and SVP, thank you. Let's take a look at the Raptors and 3-0 and closeout games at home this postseason. We'll review all of them for you. First round, you remember they played the Magic in the first round? No one does.
Yeah.
115-96, Game 5 in Toronto. Kawhi, 27 points in a closeout game. The theme here is he's just really, really good. Eastern Conference semifinals. Raptors beat the Sixers 92-90. The shot that hung in the air for an eternity. 41 points. The memorable game winner in the closeout game. Eastern Conference Finals defeated the Bucks 100-94, Game 6. 27 points for Leonard. Raptors still have a chance to do the same thing in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. As you can see, Drake and everyone happy about the fact that they'll get a chance to do it at home. But it's up to the Warriors to make sure the Raptors don't close out at home again. They're the 35th team to fall behind 3-1 in the finals, and the only team to come back in that scenario, the Cavs. 2016 against the Warriors.
Matt, we've got much more on the finals still ahead, on how Kawhi's third quarter storm put the Raptors up for good, and is even grudgingly making a fan out of one of his critics. That still ahead as we keep the ball rolling on the NBA Final.
I'm on the mission. I'm on the mission.
Thompson for 3. Thompson again. Banks it home. Welcome back, Klay Thompson.
I got that vision. I got that mission. I got that vision.
Leonard, pull-up jumper. Puts it in. Kawhi Leonard dominating right now. It's all Toronto tonight. And now Golden State 1 loss away from their dreams of a three-peat coming to an end.
Something to keep in mind heading into Game 5. Raptors 3-0 in closeout games at home this postseason. In case you missed them, Kawhi Leonard is the main reason why. First round of the playoffs, Raptors beat the Magic 115-96 in Game 5 in Toronto. Leonard, 27 points in that game to send Orlando home. Eastern Conference semifinals, Raptors beat the Sixers 92-90 in Game 7 in Toronto. Shot no one will ever forget. The bouncing ball falls for Leonard. First ever Game 7 buzzer beater. Leonard, 41 points to close out Philly. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, Raptors beat the Bucks 100-94, Game 6 in Toronto after they just took complete control of that series. Leonard, 27 points in that closeout game That building is going to be crazy Monday as the Raptors have a chance to do the same thing in Game 5 of the Finals. Let's bring in Rachel Nichols now. Rachel, the best tweet I saw after Game 4 was a tweet from a fan who said it looks like Kawhi Leonard's family doesn't even know he's in the NBA. He just comes home from work, sits down quietly, and eats dinner. I mean, that's how steady he's been for Toronto, and he took them to a victory again in Game 4. What impressed you most about his performance?
Well, just how well he was moving and how good he looked at different times during these playoffs, especially the last 2 rounds. There's been days where he is clearly favoring that leg, and when he and I sat down for an interview, he did acknowledge that it's bothering him enough that he has had to go through extensive pregame treatment just to get on the court. And you've seen it a little bit in his lift and just the way he moves now. He is always delivering for this team no matter what. I don't want to imply that he hasn't been steady, but tonight he was moving in a way where you just felt he was playing free basketball. And Masai Ujiri, the GM, told me that he was on the bus sitting next to Coach Nick Nurse, and he said, I just feel it. I feel like tonight's going to be the big one. And certainly that is what Kawhi unleashed in that third quarter. Masai Ujiri told me that he hopes that this sort of run of good health where you could see Kawhi moving so well today, he goes, I just need it for one more game. So we'll see how that goes.
The Warriors, meanwhile, they have several players who've been there, who've won championships. But this sort of looked like a point of no return after this game, that the Raptors almost ended this series in this game. Do you see a way for the Warriors to climb back into this other than Kevin Durant?
I do, just because they've done it before, and they've done it before Kevin Durant joined this team. It's interesting. There's not that many series in NBA history where one team has been up 3-1 and then the series is reversed and the other one has won it. It's happened very few times. But this Warriors club has been in the middle of 2 of those series, and they've done it on either side, right? So if there is a team in today's NBA who believes that you can switch gears on a series that is 3-1, it's this Warriors team, because they've been a part of it twice. That being said, you can tell guys just wanted to get out of the building tonight. The one guy I saw who was sort of loose and relaxed and saying there's nothing wrong was Draymond Green. He was like, it's going to be okay. We're going to be fine. Walking around in his little Dolce & Gabbana ensemble that he wore into the game, which, in case you did not catch it, would be a windbreaker, a T-shirt, and a little pair of nylon shorts that are just a little too short. A little too short, Stan. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, they're going to walk into a frenzied arena on Monday night with fans there hoping for a coronation of a new NBA champion. Rachel, we appreciate the time.
Thank you.